Hey everybody, Zephyr here, back with another round of book collection video. This one is the big one, the biggest one probably, other than the baby's books. I mean, honestly, this one is the biggest. The baby's books is probably second biggest, as far as in collection wise. I mean, this is the fiction books. Now again, I've not really put these in any particular category or order, and again, there's so many that I'm gonna kind of just breeze through them real quick. I'm not going to spend too much time on any of them unless it does have some sort of significant meaning or story behind it. So I'm just going to grab a stack here and just start going through them. So first up we have, because I am a huge fan of this series of books, we have the Jack Reacher Rules by Lee Child. Big fan of those books. I've read like 4 or 5 of the books out of the series, all random ones, like not in order, but I'm real excited for the new series coming out, the new TV series coming out, I think in February. So it'll be interesting to see how close it sticks to the books, or even what new interpretations they make. We have classic Alice in Wonderland, Adventures in Wonderland. This will be one that'll probably go more in with Ivy's books when she gets a little older, but it's Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll, definitely a classic. I have A Whole New World, the twisted tales, some of these twisted Disney tales. So this is What If Aladdin Had Never Found the Lamp. Pretty exciting. We have the Neil Gaiman Corellon, the 10th Anniversary Edition. Pretty cool. I've not got to read it yet. I love the movie though, big fans of the movie. We watch it every Halloween. This one I have read back in the day, another classic, children's classic, Call of the Wild. Absolute classic story. This is one of my wife's favorites and one of her books, but it is Stephen King, The Body, which the movie Stand By Me is based on. Great movie. We've watched it about once every year too. It's one of her all-time favorites. Grimm Fairy Tales, because I mean, you gotta have the Grimm Fairy Tales, come on. And then I have the Star Wars The Life Day Treasury, which is pretty exciting. I got a lot of Star Wars books, as you'll come to see. I have a Sherlock Holmes collection by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Volume 1. Big Sherlock Holmes fan, hence our movie podcast is called A Study in Cinema, which is kind of a play on A Study in Scarlet from Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I actually have a Sherlock Holmes mug. I love the TV series. I've seen multiple times through the BBC TV series with Benedict Cumberbatch. I've seen the movies with Robert Downey Jr. I've seen some of the older movies. Another fun one that I got back in back when they did this thing called Nerd Block. It was like an old subscription service. And I actually ended up getting this next book in that, which is Fun with Kirk and Spock, a parody, and it's like a funny Star Trek book, like table book to put out, just random little silly storybook, funny book for sci-fi. Away here. Speaking of Sherlock Holmes and H.P. Lovecraft, we got Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu. As you can see, I started reading that one. Pretty excited. There's actually a whole series of these. This is the first one in the series, so hopefully once I read that I can collect some of the others. I have Star Wars The Old Republic, Revan, Star Wars Legends. Revan is probably one of my favorite Star Wars characters next to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which you may come back to see later. Speaking of Lee Child, I told you he'd be back. Jack Reacher, Night School. I don't think I have read this one. Yes, I did read this one. I was trying to remember if I read it or not. I have Stan Lee, The Zodiac Legacy. Pretty cool little book. I know they did more. This was the first one. I didn't get to read the others, but I did get to read this one, and it was really good. Another one that I read that I love, Howl's Moving Castle, Diana Wynne Jones. Obviously, the Ghibli movie based on it, which is my favorite of the Ghibli movies. One I've not got to read, but I've been so excited I finally got a hold of. Again, being YouTube fans of other YouTubers and stuff, is the Yogscast, and this is one of their books, Bodega, Tales from the Bodega Verse. It's like a kind of silly sci-fi space ordeal. If you've listened to the Triforce podcast by the Yogscast, they reference it and read excerpts and stuff from it, so it's exciting to get that. We have The Essential Tales of H.P. Lovecraft. which I have read this, of course. Come on. Which is amazing. We may actually get through all these in one video. What do you know? Maybe. Maybe. Mean Girls is one I got for my wife. She's a huge Mean Girls fan, and so I had to get her the book. We have Warriors Into the Wild. It's actually a huge book series. As you can see, I've only read the first one. Again, it's really, really good, and I always wanted to read more. I just never got around to it. I have the Life and Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi with some beautiful cover work there. I've read this one a couple times. This is one of my favorites. Because again, Obi-Wan Kenobi's my all-time favorite Star Wars character. Keeping with the murder mystery Sherlock Holmesy type stuff, we do have Murder on the Orient Express and Other Hercule Poirot Mysteries by Agatha Christie. Beautiful cover work, by the way. Look at this. And then you have like this inside here. Look at this. Look how cool that is. Look at these pages. I mean, just beautiful book. Beautiful book. And I love Murder. I've not read the others, but I have read Murder on the Orient Express. I love it. I've seen both versions of the movies. I'm extremely excited for Death on the Nile to come out. So there's that. Here is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jules Verne. It's an absolute classic. Again, read the book, watched the movies. Just a classic. I mean, it's one of the great sci-fi legends. This one you all may know. Princess and the Squire by Zephyr, Phoenix Main Saga Book 1. If you've not read this one, guys, what are you doing? I gotta tell you, go check this out on Amazon, Audible, ebook, paperback, audiobook. You can't beat it. Can't beat it. We also have another one of the Star Wars. This is the Myths and Fables. Again, beautiful cover work, beautiful artwork. Gotta love them. Now we're getting into some further back here. Let me get. I gotta get. All right, and next we have Loki, which actually I just finished last year. It's Where Mischief Lies. I actually think I talked about this in another video a little bit, but really good book in the Marvel universe. I have the book Shane, the old Western. This was my grandfather, who actually passed away a little while back now. It's been a couple years. Feels like no time at all has passed. But he, I was super close to my grandpa. And this was his favorite Western, the movie. And I have the movie, but I also had to get the book when I seen it, just because, again, it made me think of him and how much he loved this story and how much he loved the movie and retelling it to me. Even before we got to watch it, he always talked about Shane and how it was his favorite, and so I had to get it. It was just one of those real sentimental things. I have another classic, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Read this one back in school too, but I mean, it's a classic. Come on, Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. I've talked about this one before on this channel, I know, but the Stuart Morse Civil War, the novelization of the Marvel Civil War. Beautiful novel. I've read this one many, many times. Never gets old, never disappoints. Now these next two are important to me as well in a way. I've only got to read the first one, but I've started the second one, so that's that. But I need to finish it. This is the Evoborn series, book 1 and book 2. I think he's up to book 3 or 4 now, by Sean M. Green. Look at these covers, guys. Sean did the covers too. He did the covers. Look at that. Lit RPG, if you're into the lit RPG or any kind of like medieval D&D type stuff. There's book 2, Collide. There's Break and Collide. Just gorgeous covers. They look great sitting on a shelf. Little known fact for those of you that don't know, but if I figure out where I just set it down at, I don't know where I just set it down at. It's over there. Sean also did the cover art for my book, Princess and the Squire. And he is actually a good friend of mine, and he's a great author. He's one of the people that helped, if you've seen my road to becoming an author, my road to publishing video, he was a big part of helping me get my first book off the ground. And his books are great. Like I said, really good books, really good reads. I highly recommend them. Break, I think I've read through twice now. And I've started Collide. I need to finish it, I know, but it's so far it's great. It's just as good as Break was. Next, we got another one that I bought for my wife that she is a big fan of, and that is The Fault in Our Stars, which, again, we went and seen the movies in theaters back when we were dating, when we was first dating, and she was a big fan of the book and the movie, and so I had to get it. And it was a good movie. I've not read the book, but I hear it's really, really good, so eventually I will read it. My Side of the Mountain, which I think I did a TikTok on maybe, and I may have talked about it in this channel, by Jean Craighead George. This was another one I read back in school, but I was a huge fan of. So I ended up recently purchasing it. I seen it on sale for this particular version of it, because just the cover is beautiful, and I wanted to have it for Ivy when she got older. And this one actually has some sketch pictures done in it, like here on some of the pages. And so I've recently restarted reading this one as well myself, just because to relive that part of my youth. And because I remember loving this one. There was My Side of the Mountain, and I believe The Far Side of the Mountain, I think, was the sequel. And I was a big fan of these books. I just loved them. Loved all the characters. And yeah, so I ended up getting it recently, and pretty exciting stuff. Also kind of in the same line as Fault in Our Stars is A Walk to Remember. Obviously is a movie, and the book here of Nicholas Sparks' book. I think my grandma actually gave me this one because I'd seen the movie and it was really good, and I think she was a big fan of the movie and book and ended up passing that on to me. This was one of my wife's, which is in the Dorothy Must Die series, The Wicked Will Rise, because again, she is a huge Wizard of Oz fan. So got that. I've not read it yet, but I've heard a lot about it. We have Miss Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. I talked about this on the channel before, how much I loved this book and the movie growing up, the Nim series. This is one that I actually want to talk about too. This was one I was talking about in one of my other videos, the giveaways at Goodreads. Now, I've not got to read this book yet, but to the author, Alex Grass, I just want to say, like, the dude knows how to do a giveaway and how to do awesome book advertising. Like, I've been wanting to give him a shout out for some time now. Come One Come All. It's kind of set up. It's got this whole like dark, creepy circus sideshow thing, and in it, in the book, he actually has these like almost like if you was going to an actual carnival ticket, the Carnival Festival. There, admit one, and you've actually got like the little tickets. And he actually signed it for me, signed the copy for me, saying welcome to the show, I hope you enjoy it, which I just really respect. I respect it from an author, from one author to another, the fact that he's like put that much attention to detail just in the presentation of it all. I'm really looking forward to getting into this one and seeing what else he does in the future, because I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive, and it's a good way to do like book giveaways, to really pull in authors or readers and make them feel welcome. Next, I have City of Villains, which is the Disney City of Villains, which is like a detective noir book where like the Disney villains are brought into like their characters are like made into like these like mob and like real life type scenarios. I've also talked about this one before, which is City of Heroes, Web of Arachnos. Big fan of the City of Heroes game, the MMO. And this book I've read again multiple times. It's a great book. More on the creepy, kind of cool, creepy fairy tales. We have Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales with illustrations by Heather Robinson. Check this out. I got this for my wife actually for Christmas a few years back, but yeah, it's just got some of the classics in here. Got like the Nightingale. You've got, let's find another good one. Garden of Paradise. You got so many classic like fairy tales, Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. Again, considered classic. Got some cool illustrations and stuff on it. And lastly, I have one That is it's an old one, but it's old Shakespeare Collection. I mean, look how thick this book is. It's got a ton of, it's got Romeo and Juliet, you've got Julius Caesar, As You Like It, Midsummer Night's Dream, you've got a bunch of his sonnets and stuff. You got like the sonnets back here, each little short sonnet, songs from the plays, Coriolanus, All's Well That Ends Well, Taming of the Shrew. Like, there's so many Shakespearean classics, because if you're going to have a book collection, you got to have some Shakespeare in there, right? And that is the quick run through of my fiction collection, guys. I think I may be able to actually squeeze all that into one video. It might be a little bit longer than the others, but I think I can stick with it just being one part. I think we got through them quick enough. I'll have to look at it and see. But yeah, so quite an extensive little catalog there. Like I said, some of these I'm in the process of reading, some I'm going to reread soon, and I'll try to do little book reviews. I'll try to do little book, give my thoughts on each of them as I get done reading them and rereading them. I'm wanting to read a lot more books. On Goodreads, they have a thing where you can do a book reading challenge, and I put that crazily enough that I want to try to read 22 books this year, since it's 2022. It's a big statement, considering last year I only got through like one. Last year I said I wanted to read 10 books, and I got through one actual chapter book, which was Loki, and then the rest of the books I read last year was all like kids books. I was reading Ivy. It was like board books or like little chapter books. So, but this year I want to try to read 22 books, and I want most of them to be actual physical books, like some of these I've showed you here, or some of them that I've started that I need to really finish. So stay with me and I'll do some book reviews. So the final part of this series, the book collection, will be Ivy's books, which I will try to get up probably at a separate time. I want to try to start releasing these, and then I'll try to get around to hers as soon as I can. But yeah, hopefully I'll have all of these up. I'm going to try to release one a day, and get back and have a good bit of content, either one a day or one a week, a good bit of content to stretch out for you guys. And then I've got other things on the way. Like I said, I've obviously got some update videos I need to do to update you guys on my author stuff, and some more like home vloggy type stuff I want to put up here. So stay tuned. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Comment below. Let me know some of your favorite books. Maybe some books that you also have from this collection and really liked, or some that you would prefer to see me do reviews on. You know, or just let me know some of your guys' favorite books in your collection, or some of the ones that some of your top books that are in your personal home library. Yeah, so I look forward to it, and thank you guys so much. So stay tuned for more.